Alright guys, first off-season war of the off-season. Brought in Shang-Chi, Doc Ock, and Mr. Fantastic to play around with Defiance. First thing, there's some node updates, including this one Modok is on. It's no longer kinetic transference, and I believe it's power bond. It is now Conflictor and Power Reserve. And I did not know that going into war, because there was not an update or an announcement or anything. Just kind of went in assuming this was going to be kinetic transference and I could control the power gain with Shang-Chi by doing a lot of blocked hits and wushu through block. So that made this one pretty interesting. I intentionally land a parry and then do the stun wushu to reset, and it's really just baiting out all his special attacks. There's not really a strategy here. The only thing with Modok and Shang-Chi is that you have to make sure that you're doing wushu into his entire block and not doing a combo getting auto blocked at the end, because it will not count towards the combo for the wushu to place. So you either have to do complete hits into Modok, which means get the unblockable wushu and then just go ahead and go into the stun wushu, or you have to rely on only blocked hits. But yeah, went pretty smooth, pretty focused. Just messing around. It's the off season. This node stayed the same. It's Vivified and Brute Force. Wanted to try out Mr. Fantastic. I have a feeling him and the rest of the Defiance champions are going to be very, very instrumental at keeping alliances in top ranks and reducing deaths, especially since majority of the Mystic dispersion or Mystic tactic champions are actually Mystic defenders. So we have all the pre-fights placed here. We'll refresh them with heavy attacks. I'm probably going to parry heavy most of this fight due to Vivified. There aren't going to be a lot of opportunities to do combos without having to bait a special attack out immediately after. So I'd rather keep the debuffs refreshed as we build the special 2, and then when we get to special 2, we're going to go ahead and launch it. You guys have seen me dodge Mojo's special 2 a lot, so me pushing him here to the special 2 is not a big deal. It's just another day in war. And then the Defiance tactic is taking away any possibility of buffs and degen. So as long as we don't get hit with a special 3 or a special 2, we're not going to get any degen here, and we're not going to feed Mystic Dispersion. So going pretty smooth, getting backed into a wall here from baiting too many special attacks. But we're still going with the parry heavy. Mojo's pretty much gone at this point. One thing I will have to get used to is Mr. Fantastic evading on his own while I'm blocking. Happened a couple times where I tried to re-parry. But yeah, pretty smooth. Next, I wanted to mess around with Shang-Chi on a hazard shift node, and this Immortal Hulk seemed like a good idea. However, they did change here. Now it has the bigger Fury from having a debuff on you at 480% instead of the 200%, which was Blood in the Water. There was also one other aspect added to this. I forgot, but you can just go ahead and rewind the video and check it out. I do think Shang-Chi is bugged at the moment. You can see here I reset wushu, and that means my cleanse charges are gone, but you're going to see debuffs pop up and disappear without me having any active cleanse charges. So none here. I believe it's the next combo. Yep, and there it goes. One of those incinerates disappeared. And I noticed it was happening as well in my Abyss run that I'm currently doing for the Karina's Challengers against Luke Cage. Anyways, my thought process here was that Shang-Chi could do well on a node that places a lot of debuffs like Hazard Shift. If you go with the Cleanse Wushu and a parry heavy instead of trying to do the Stun Wushu for the easy heavy reset. And just going through that until you get to special 2, and then making sure, and you saw I tried to get a heavy in, and then making sure that we drop the Cleanse Wushu right before dropping the special 2. Obviously here I figured let me just go ahead and throw it. And here I'm just kind of focused on getting him down. So stunned him to wait out that immortality timer. Now that it's gone, the next couple of hits should knock him out. So he might still be an option for things like this. Obviously it would take some extreme focus and boosting. But I wouldn't take him off the table unless it was like an Immortal Abomination type champ who just places too many debuffs on top of the node. Here, decided I wanted to try and flex Doc Ock. Since I have the Mr. Fantastic synergy with Doc Ock, I figured some power stings and his breakthrough, placing a power lock would help this fight. But what you're going to see is just with Mystic Dispersion and the fact that the power gain isn't a lot in small doses, I'm not going to do a very good job here. So at the start, it's not too bad. It's about what I expected. We're getting a lot of the heal block, and now he's at special 2, and we have really no way of dealing with the Footloose buffs. So we have to just wait him out. And what we risk here is that our breakthroughs falling to 0, and then us not having that power lock. So the power gain is just not enough to constantly have the power lock, and then we have that Mystic Dispersion jump in. So yeah, this was definitely forced. I will definitely try and find ways to get Doc Ock in for other power gain nodes, especially since Mr. Fantastic is probably going to be a top choice when I get assigned. But I do have, I think, 8. I have quite a few Defiance champions. And then here, Claire is going to try and be fancy with Shang-Chi and rely on placing all Wushu through block. But what you're going to see at the end is that I meet my demise because I forget that I'm unblockable, and I end up pushing her to special 3 with a dexterity buff and Mystic Dispersion. So it looks like it's going to go fine, and then right near the end I kind of trip. I also forgot that she was a Mystic Dispersion or Mystic Tactic champion. So yeah, doing a lot of damage here. There it is. We can wait out the global. Now that it's on cooldown, we don't really have to worry about it. She was not unblockable there, so I could have blocked, but just mentally for strategy or gameplay purpose, and there's that unblockable hit. It's just better to act like she's unblockable the whole time, then you never really have to check and make sure she's not. So pretty unfortunate to lose Shang-Chi here. Just a little more focus probably would have finished that fight no problem. So we go in, since she has a little bit of health, to clean up with Mr. Fantastic. And obviously the hope here is to just fight her without getting any debuffs on her and hopefully knocking her out before she throws a special attack. And then if she does, we just wait out the debuffs hitting into her block. And here I only wanted to waste a Petrify. There was 1 or 2 mini bosses I wanted to try out. There we go. Down she went. With Mr. Fantastic. Alright, so speaking of mini bosses, here's one Sasquatch on Safeguard. I'm going to take it with Mr. Fantastic. Should be a fairly straightforward fight. One thing I did not practice in a duel, because it is off-season, is whether or not I can be in range to retaliate his heavy with mine, which is going to make this fight even easier in the future. But what you'll see is I'm just out of range. Maybe there's a shallow evade or something that'll help me stay in range. But he's got suicides, so this is going to go a lot faster than it normally would in season. there are plenty of options for this. I mean, my go-to would probably be Immortal Abomination, with it being Safeguard. And he's a Defiance champ as well, so he would definitely just slaughter this fight. And the Global Mystic isn't immune to ability accuracy, so there possibly is potential to still shoehorn an Archangel type matchup here. We lost our debuffs there, no big deal. Again, because he has suicides. But also he's a Mystic Defender, so we're not, and we have Defiance, so we are not giving him any power through that. And we're almost through, and down he goes. So, good fight there. Moving on, I did not plan on taking this Void here, but it was, as you can see, the timer for war is going down. We didn't really have anyone else, so I went ahead and threw on a revive that was expiring. I said, hey, let me go ahead and use Shang-Chi. I can at least heavy retaliate Void, I know, against his heavy and his special one. And then again, something that helped that I didn't put together with this fight is that the Cleanse Wushu is bugged. Very much in this fight, you're going to see me without any cleanse charges after I reset right there. And I'm still going to end up shrugging debuffs. So here it comes. It's going to place, and it's gone. So, Shang-Chi, a little OP. It's not clear how many charges he has, invisible charges he has there. But we're being very smart here in not using our stun Wushu and therefore stunning ourselves. So that was all I could hope here. I was going to do as much damage as I could. But the fight is going well so far. It's unfortunate we don't have any power gain here, so we can't use a big special 2 to finish this off. I do sometimes throw the unblockable Wushu in. I do a 5-hit combo where I end with a light, just so that we can get some hits in to maybe push him to special 1 to get us to that reset. But this would not be a matchup I would want to do in season. It would be kind of silly. It would definitely be forced. Obviously, Killmonger, Immortal Abomination. No, I wouldn't do Immortal Abomination. Killmonger is probably just the first pick I'd go with. Fury. And just not stun, at least while you're in life model decoy. But yeah, I definitely thought, especially with this next blocked hit, that I was going to die. Still going well, though. I think here I'm just going to focus on trying to get the damage in and knock him out. Took a blocked hit there. We weren't trying to, and down he goes. So I really went after that node so that I could get to the Mangog after with Mr. Fantastic. So here I was going to end combos short. We were going to do 4-hit combos. I wasn't going to parry. I was going to retaliate his heavy with mine to refresh the debuffs. Building the special 2, dropping special 2, and then just in emergency situations, I'd rely on the parry. I believe it gets to the end of the fight that I start parrying so that I can parry heavy. But yeah, I wasn't really focused on which special attack I was going to force him to. Obviously, my hope was that I'd push him to special 2 and that the evades would kick in. There would have been an opportunity to retaliate heavy, so we do it here instead. But yeah, this fight should be pretty straightforward. What would definitely make this fight a lot easier is to have a white Magneto pre-fight. Then we can parry reliably in emergencies only, because this does have hard knock life. We lost our debuffs there, but got a new set with special 2. But again, he's got suicides. Power Sting is kicking in. So, oh wait, did he have suicide? Yeah, I think he did. I don't see. Oh, there's the poison. But yeah, this was the first war of the offseason. Pretty enjoyable testing out Defiance champs. I'm probably going to test out all of them as much as I can. And some Mr. Negative, since the global can be shut off with intercept. So hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you at the next offseason war.